back to another exciting episode of Coffee with Scott. I'm Jeff Brodus, VP of Operations, joined by
Scott Hayes, President CEO.
Scott. Today on the docket, we have growing a business. So something that we have kind of moved from what I would call maybe a small cap value company into small cap growth, so to speak.
Sure.
Reinvesting our dividends, if you will. So I think this is extremely pertinent. In fact, we just not too long ago got back from Colorado, where we had a shareholder stakeholder meeting with some of our advisors within the firm. So very pertinent.
Very timely.
Why don't we start with a topic that we discussed in Colorado, and that's how are we moving into the growth arena, and what does growth really entail?
Sure, yeah. So first part of growing a company is surviving, right? I think it's something like 45% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years, 65% within 10 years, and only 25% of small businesses make it beyond 15 years. So we're in our 35th year here at ISC, so we've done something right. And we've always tried to grow organically, if you will, and within our means, without stretching too far, taking on leverage or anything like that. I think really, the key is once you have your idea and your business plan, live your mission is obviously important. Be passionate about what you do, and then you have to really pay attention, to the operations of the firm and the financials, and just making sure that you're not taking on leverage and things. I mean, some people succeed wildly with leverage, but that's just not the model that we've chosen to pursue.
Yeah. Well, when we think about growing and taking on leverage or not taking on leverage to do so, ultimately the idea of growth and where the rubber meets the road is the people. Right?
Absolutely.
And as we've talked about, sometimes the most challenging part of our jobs is the human element of it.
Right.
So tell us or talk to us a little bit more about kind of the nuances associated with hiring the right people.
Yeah, for sure. The founder of our firm told me early on, and I told you the same thing, that managing people can be the hardest part of running a company. So finding the right people that are the right fit are absolutely crucial. You can bring in a really smart person that has the wrong attitude or doesn't fit within the culture, and can disrupt everything. So I believe firmly in finding people that are smarter than me, more talented than me, and surrounding myself with people like that so that we can all grow together. Because I don't have all the answers, but collectively, as a team, we can come up with better results, I believe.
Yeah. Well, when we think about results, beyond once we get the people element, and oftentimes it coincides with this, but there's the marketing aspect of our services, ourself as a firm, and you get marketing, and then ultimately marketing comes to fruition with sales. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit more about kind of how we're reaching new markets and how we might be, or any institution might go about selling to those new markets as well.
Yeah, well, I've told you many times I'm not a marketing guy, and so I'm relying on our brilliant interns to get us into the age of social media with things like this. With the idea that eventually, I know we do need to have a presence out there. I get it, and so we're giving it the go, right? And I think that importantly, as we pursue that, using technologies that are available today. To help leverage, if you will, the scale that we can pursue by reaching a broader audience and multiple ways of dripping on them and so forth, just from a generic presence type of sense. But when I think about marketing, it's kind of within our core group, right? Like asking for the referral. That to me is the person-to-person interaction that I see as a good pathway for growth. Particularly in the nonprofit business arena that we have.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of the next generation as well, right? Developing the competencies associated with that kind of multi-medium drip marketing, whether it's social media or email marketing, things of that nature, trying to reach a broader audience. So once we kind of bring someone in the door, then there's the challenge of holding on to that relationship. And there's an element of the client management, the engagement with the client. So talk to us a little bit more about a kind of a winning approach there.
Well, we're a people business, right? I mean, on the services side, in particular, the execution strategy is still a high touch, white glove type of model that we've developed. And today, I don't think you can be successful in business without that, right? Everybody wants the easy button. Everybody expects to get the phone answered when they call in on the first try, which is great, and that's what the model we've always achieved to have. So we're very high touch, and I think that's a large reason why we have such good client retention.
Yeah. Well, beyond maybe the marketing element to the clients, we have a large affiliated rep base, right? So then there's some engagement internally with our reps. Talk to us a little bit more about kind of the nuances associated with maybe marketing to that in-house group as well.
Right. So our reps are primarily, they're out in the field. They have their own different business models. They each run their own small business, as their own. And, our role is to support them in any way we can, provide the back office support, keep them within the guidelines and following the rules, and just, be there for them to help them grow in any way that, we can.
Well, beyond kind of the elements that we've discussed, I mean, what additional kind of advice would you have for aspiring entrepreneurs, whether it's in the financial services industry or otherwise?
Yeah, so I think, obviously you have to have a good idea, a good business plan, fill a need, fill a void that's out there in the market, and then pursue it passionately, right? If you really are energetic and passionate and you care about what you do, I think your likelihood of success goes way up.
Well, that's all the time we have today for this episode of Coffee with Scott, but I want to thank Scott for making himself available for us and our viewers. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you again on the next episode.
Thanks, Jeff.